Welcome to Good Morning Akron, everyone. I'm your host, Sarah, and today I get to hang out with Justine Devorss. How are you, Justine?
Hi, I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. And Justine is a realtor, and she's with eXp Realty.
Yes.
And we're going to start off by talking just a little bit about you. Go ahead and just tell us who you are.
So I am a realtor based out of Akron. I actually went to middle and high school in Kent, so I'm familiar with
You're
Portage
from the
County.
330.
Yeah, exactly. But I've lived in different parts of Akron for the last 10 years or so, and I've landed in Highland Square, which I absolutely love.
Yes.
So yeah,
that's a great part of Akron. We're very close over in West Akron.
Yeah.
And can walk to Highland Square, so that's a fun area. So go ahead and tell us a little bit more about how you got into realty.
So it's interesting. Real estate, I feel like, sort of chose me. Through different careers in my life, I had several people come to me and tell me that they felt like I would be really good in real estate, and I finally decided to see how that would go, and I've loved it. I really love working with people and helping them. I have an affinity for houses and architecture, and then I have a background in finance and negotiations and contracts.
Oh, well, that works out really well.
Right. So it was all kind of this perfect merriment that came together, and yeah, it's just been really great.
That's awesome. Were you one of those people that's like goes on Zillow and like checks out all the houses before you even became a realtor?
Yes, and my TikTok feed also feeds me people who look at Zillow, like some of the crazy houses, because I love that too.
But I know, those are really fun too.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about what you do as a realtor. I mean, for people that maybe are first-time home buyers, haven't even dove into that area of life yet.
Yeah.
What are some things you do in your job?
So first of all, I love first-time home buyers, but in all honesty, I kind of view real estate agents or realtors as like matchmakers. I know some people, you hear that and everyone has their own idea of what we do, and some people maybe even just view us as people who open doors, right? That's all we do. We just unlock a key, you go and you see a house.
Right,
but
right.
Really, we do have a lot of skill set that we use, and like I said, including matchmaking. So we obviously want to match you with the right house.
Yeah.
We get your information, what you're looking for, but we also match you with people like lenders, people who we trust, and contractors. And there's a wide array of people that are involved in making this happen for you. And it's our job to get you to the right people.
Which I think is really necessary, because again, it's like, especially if this is your first time buying a home or selling a home, you don't know where to go. I mean, sure, you can Google things, you can find out that way, but to actually have someone that you trust is really important.
And that's really the main job, in my mind anyway, is to make sure that everyone's getting what they need from all the people that need to be involved, and giving you someone that is going to do the best job for you, outside of myself.
Absolutely. So why should someone trust you?
Someone should trust me. Again, I do have a good background in negotiations and contracts and all the fun paperwork that comes with that. So that's a forte of mine. But in addition to that, I think I add a real personal touch to the way that I do things. It's not transactional for me. I want to see you get what you need and where you want to be. And if that takes time, then it takes time. I don't believe in pushing people. So I know people get concerned about that too, that if they go look at houses, someone's going to be in their face and like, here we go, let's do this. So,
right, like you have to buy this right now.
Exactly.
Pressuring them.
Right.
So there are some scary things. We talked about this before the interview about home buying and home selling right now. So go ahead and let's address some of those scary things. You mentioned interest rates. Let's address those.
I know, that is kind of the big scary in the room, right? Interest rates. I think, and again, I'm not a soothsayer, but I think it's safe to say that we've seen really the kind of peak of those interest rates. Things are actually starting to come down now, which is good.
That's wonderful, yeah.
They do change from day to day, but we're seeing things in the sixes, sometimes even the low sixes, when we would check with the lenders during the process. But I do think we're starting to see that decline, and then going into springtime, we're really hopeful that they're going to continue to come down even more.
That's good.
Yeah.
What else might be scary for someone as they go into first-time home buying?
I think sellers feel especially afraid right now because A, they probably got into their house at that lower interest rate, right? And then there's always the question of, we have a housing shortage still.
So what if they sell and if they don't have somewhere to live?
So a balanced market really is having at least 6 months of inventory, because that's how long it should take to sell it, and we're still not quite there yet. We're still in a shortage, but For sellers, it really, working with a trusted realtor who has a customized transition plan for you is what's key. So we're not gonna list your home and then once it sells, you're out, and you have nowhere to be.
You're not getting thrown out on the street.
You know, I will make sure that you have a plan in place, that I use the tools that I have to ensure that you are getting somewhere you need to be before your house is actually sold.
Okay.
So that's something that we work together on.
Okay, and you were also mentioning winter.
Yes.
Just buying and selling in the winter, and that might look a little bit different.
Yes.
So go ahead and share with us about that.
So we always say that the real estate seasons are kind of like the seasons in Ohio. They warm up around spring, everyone starts looking, they're hot in the summer, and then they start cooling back down in the fall, right? So, but the winter is kind of an underrated market. If you're serious about buying or selling, winter's the perfect time to do that because A, there's less competition.
That's true, yeah.
So as a seller, you've got buyers coming in who are serious. They're not out there trudging in the snow without having a pre-approval and without being prepared to make offers. And the same thing on the buyer side. You have sellers that are listing because they're serious about selling right now because obviously they have somewhere they need to be or something that's going on that they want to list in the winter time. So it's kind of a perfect merriment, and with those interest rates looking like they might continue to drop,
it's a good time.
It's a perfect time.
Yeah. And we haven't heard that for a while.
Yes.
I feel like it has been a really difficult market somewhat on both ends for different reasons.
Exactly.
But it seems like things are getting better, which is really good for everyone.
It shifts around.
For the buyer, the seller, and for you, of course, right?
Yes.
So if someone has a question about anything we've talked about so far, or if they want to contact you, what is the best way for them to contact you?
I do have a website. It's justinerealtor.com.
Okay.
Or I am also on Facebook and Instagram. You're welcome to reach out to me there. And yeah, I would love to work with anyone. I work in all of Northeast Ohio. You know, Akron is my sweet spot, but I've worked with people all over.
Okay, so how far do you reach?
I've gone all the way up towards the lake. And I go all the way down towards Canton and Medina.
So quite a big section.
Yeah, and Portage and out that way too. Yeah.
All right, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Justine.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for sharing. And I feel like this interview is really good to maybe just give people a little bit of comfort. Like, hey, you can do this right now. Things are getting better, and they'll be able to reach out to you if they need to buy.
Yeah, and if anybody even just wants to chat, please reach out to me. We can just talk. You don't have to like sign any documents or anything like that. It can just be a conversation if you are thinking or have, questions.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching today. We had a great time with Justine, and hopefully if you are thinking of buying or selling, you reach out to her, even if you just have some questions. So we'll put all of her information below so that you can find her. Thank you, Akron. Stay tuned. We've got more great stuff coming up next.